But it works because the stories are so powerful. It works. Just follow the process. Work the process day in, day out. You will win. Don't try to recreate it.
So I am here with Kevin, and he is our agent of the month for February of 2025. And so, Kevin, just a huge congratulations to you.
Well, thank you. Excited to be here. Hey, it was a surprise to me too. I did not expect it at all.
I want to give folks a bit of a sense of where you've come from. And if I could, Kevin, like before you joined Juicebox, what was the big problem you were trying to solve for in your insurance business before you came to us?
Quality leads and the amount of training that y'all have is crazy. There's so much training on y'all's platform that it's almost overwhelming. You can find whatever you need. Never seen the quality of the leads come through on something like I've seen here.
What were some of the things that you had tried before? Of course, you've been in the business a long time. I know you've been kind of in and out. Everybody's tried everything. So can you speak to some of those like general things that you tried before we kind of get into, how this is different?
I started in the insurance business on the Medicare side. Back in those days, you'd just buy a long list of zip codes with names on it and just sit down and start dialing the phones. And then I took several years off from the insurance business because I went into the mission field. When those started running out and those started dwindling down, those renewals and everything, well, I said, well, it's time to jump back into the insurance business again. I'm not a big social media guy. I'm not a big tech guy. When it comes down to tech stuff and social media stuff, I am a dinosaur to it. But I heard that you can start buying these Facebook leads. So bought Facebook leads, started building a team, had a very fast growing team at that time, and do all of that. Started running my own, advertising my own leads and hit the goal that I wanted to hit. And then I started seeing this juice box stuff for a year before I did anything. Kept on watching it, kept on looking at it. And the first thing I did was the TFRAs.
Do you remember what inspired you to reach out? You were watching for a year. What was the trigger point that got you saying, I want to look into this further? Do you remember?
The consistency of Jim not being over the top, not making a bunch of false promises. I think Jim just being on there, and he seemed to me just to be kind of odd. He didn't seem to me like a guy that would be a very good salesman. And I don't mean that in a way because I know he's great at what he does, but he'd just go on there and talk, and he wasn't trying to be over the top. He wasn't trying to be anyway. And I just watched the consistency of that over time. And I was like, you know what? There's just something about this guy I trust.
Has that trust remained?
I've never talked to him or anything, but that has increased because I did the TFRA leads. I was doing IULs off of those. I was getting a bunch of leads that were coming in. They were older people in their 60s and 65. So I was just asking the golden question, and ended up writing a couple $1 million in annuities over a few months span on the TFRA leads. And I said, yep. I said, I want to start doing the PPA. I want to do all annuities. Turned them on, and I submitted December 31st of 2024. And I submitted $1.2 million within the 30 days, roughly.
Not a bad first 30.
Wasn't bad. Kind of got me excited.
Yeah. Great. And I know we're, deepening that relationship. Something I'd be really curious about, Kevin, if you could speak to it. You said you self-identified as somebody who's not really a tech person. And of course, we're selling in the virtual world. So what's the reality for folks out there who may be in a similar situation? Maybe they're not tech people and they're looking in to say, hey, is this going to be too much tech for me? Can you speak to that?
I go in and I watch the teaching. I break down the teachings and I watch the trainings. I watch those more than I do the tech trainings, more than I do the JB planner that I want to learn how to use. I've still not used that, but I just go in and I break down as many videos as I can about how to present the annuity, overcoming people that have financial advisors, overcoming all the different things. And I just break those down, and that's what I do.
Lovely synopsis. So Kevin, how your sales process has changed. Like, you've been doing this a long time. Of course, you've had a lot of success in a lot of different areas. Can you speak to how your sales process has changed, if at all, with this kind of new Juicebox sales system selling virtually?
When you're dealing with salespeople, I think one of the hardest things that you got to battle against is salespeople. They all think they're good, and they come in and they think they know everything. And it's hard to teach a person that's been doing sales for a long time a different way to do something. So when I came into this, I just come in with the complete mindset that I know absolutely nothing. And I just come in like I'm completely ignorant to them, and I become a sponge. I want to learn the lingo. I want to go in and watch the videos, and I want to learn the words, the lingo, how to talk, and just listen to them over and over and over. That's it. If we come in here thinking that we know everything, then it's going to be real hard to learn.
So when you came in, am I hearing that correctly? You had not sold annuities prior to joining Juicebox.
I was on the TFRA leads. I was selling IULs. I accidentally wrote 1 point or whatever it was in annuities off the TFRA leads. And I was just honest with them, and I'd call, I'd get help. I'd send in whatever I needed to do. I'd mainly go dig it out of the teachings that y'all have on the different annuities and all that stuff. And when I had questions, it may have took me 5 or 6 meetings to meet with them to finally get them everything that they needed. And I say this, it's not because I'm some great salesperson. I mean, I'm sure there's salespeople out there that know this so much better than I do. And if I don't know, I tell them I don't know. I'll tell them I find out, and it works for me. I try to be as honest as I possibly can. Something that is not correct, I'd rather lose the business before I tell them something that's not correct. And I think that comes across.
So when you said earlier that these are the best leads that you've ever had, and you've ran your own Facebook ads, and so you know how hard it can be. What did you mean by that?
A lead, I think a lot of times we think a lead is somebody that a lot of people think that means that they're sitting by the phone with their checkbook in hand waiting on you to call them, And what a good lead is somebody that when you do talk to them, they're aware of what you're calling for. But the main thing is that the lead quality that y'all have there and the training that y'all have here at JB, I've not seen anything like it.
What do you say to somebody right now who's on the fence or looking at Juicebox maybe from the outside? They're like you. They've been looking at us for a year. What do you say to that person from the other side?
I believe process wins. Follow the training. Follow the process. There's a call cadence that they have on here. They ask you to sit down and work your CRM an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening. Do that. They got the scripts. Use them. They got the trainings. Use them. And just simply do what they ask you to do. And if you do the process, it will work. Too many times people try to come up with all these cool ways, these fancy systems. And I'm just kind of a dummy. And I tell people that if I'm looking at somebody's writing somebody's writing 10 or $12 million a year in business in annuities, I want to do what they're doing. I don't want to try to come up with my own way. I just want to do what they're doing. So the proof is in the pudding. So you got this process down and it's working, and y'all got people that are writing tons of business. Why do I want to come in and try to make my job hard and reinvent it and do something else? Follow the proven system that is in place and it will work. And the system is so good, I don't even have it all mastered yet. I mean, just like I said, the tech side of it, learning the JB planner. I've got enough to get by, taking everything and putting it into the screens, where you do the little slideshow and all of that. I don't have that down yet, but I use the stories. I talk about going up the mountain. I talk about going down the mountain. I talk about people, 85% of the people that die are going down the mountain because they didn't prepare the proper way. I tell the stories. I just don't have it on the slides yet. So I'm going to get there though. But it works because the stories are so powerful. It works. Just follow the process. Work the process day in, day out. You will win. Don't try to recreate it.
On that note, Kevin, thank you. I appreciate you sharing your story. It was so powerful. Really, congratulations on all the success that you've seen to date. I know that it's really just the beginning. As we grow, we get better, and we get clients like you even better and more results. That's our focus. So, Kevin, congratulations, Agent of the Month. Thank you for your time.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all a ton.